Hey everyone there in YouTube. We're going to do something new today, which I've never done before, and that's to take a look at the news in game. And what I think is interesting about today's news is that it's stirring up quite a bit of controversy. And while there's a lot of controversy about it, that's getting kind of some press amongst the other people who are making videos and stuff. I wanted to do something a little different and bring in somebody to talk about it who has no idea what we're talking about, who has never played this game, has never looked at what 1 week's news looks like from 1 week to the next. And so I have somebody here with me. His name is Clippy. I'm going to let him introduce himself in a little bit here. And what we're going to do is take a look at the news together. And then I'm going to use his critical thinking wisdom to decide, is this news bad or is this news good, or what do we think about this news? And so we'll go into that a little bit. One thing I'm not going to be doing is just going to be rehashing the opinions that are already out there. I'm interested in an outsider's perspective, and so that's why Clippy is here. And so I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself now. And so take it away there, Clippy.
Hey, Garrett. So I'm Clippy. I've been playing video games for, I don't know, 20 years plus. I typically dabble in anything from FPSs, team games, grand strategy, as well as I've always been the rules lawyer for a lot of board games. So I hope to bring that kind of expertise and as an outsider. So I look forward to this.
Well, thank you for that, and I'm really looking forward to it too. You're the first person I've ever had come visit the channel, so that's a lot of fun for us too. So welcome for
Honored to be the first.
helping me break that in as well. So to break this game down for you, because I know you've never played it, basically to get stronger, well, the whole point of the game is to collect units and use those units to beat trials and content that they create on a weekly basis. Okay. And so, it's all centered around Final Fantasy, which I think is a big deal for me. So, there it is. Collecting your favorite units is kind of a lot of fun. So every week there's like a banner that comes out that you kind of like focus in, narrow down. Do I want units from this series? Well, here they are on this banner, and you can kind of use the in-game resources to summon for them. Okay. The trick to that is to kind of maximize their potential. You either need to get a bunch of copies of them that you can then break down into resources to make them stronger, or otherwise get your hands on the resources. And that's kind of what the news of today is about. And so what I want to look at with you is kind of what the current news of today was, and then make some comparisons to previous banners to kind of like see, like, this is what it was, this is what it is, this is what's come out today. Like, what do we think about that? So that's kind of what we're gonna do.
All right, let's dig in.
Let's dig in. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it here. So if you look at the news, you should be able to see it on the right there. So this week's featured summon is for Final Fantasy IV, which is a game that a lot of people really love. Kain and Rydia are characters from that series that people really like a lot. And so to get them, you have a couple options. One of them is you can summon on this like step up banner, which is the one we're going to talk about. Or you can just drop your like they've got like in-game tickets that you can use to do like one summon. Or you can spend, just like 500 of these like blue crystal things, or 5,000 to get 10, or 11 rather. And so there's like lots of ways you might go about it. But the one that's getting a lot of attention today is this one. I'm gonna put a big copy of it right there on the screen, just because it's a little harder to see. So what's neat about it is, every step of the way, it's instead of just getting 10 units, you're getting 10 units and some resources and some tickets and tokens, and along the way you eventually get this big fancy card at the end. And it costs you a grand total of 25,000 of these blue crystal resources. Okay. And so you also get a bunch of these tokens and tickets and stuff like that. Now, the units that you're looking for, the like Rydia and Kain, they're not guaranteed on there. Anything where it says guaranteed is just guaranteed to be the highest rarity of characters you can get. So it's not a guarantee. Instead, what is a guarantee is if you collect 10 of these red tickets, which you get 6 of them along the way, then you can exchange those 10 for a featured Neovisions unit, which is the red ones, the highest rarity. So you could take those 10 and exchange them for Kain and Rydia. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you get 6 along the way, and then if you want to definitely get that Kain or Rydia all the way, you have to then collect 4 more, which you can get 1 ticket each from doing a 5,000 Lapis 11 summon. So when you think about that, there's a guaranteed way to get the unit that you want, not knowing anything else about the game. Does that sound feasible to you?
How do you earn the Lapis?
Okay, so that's a good question. You earn the Lapis by doing missions in the game. So like beating levels in content. Daily, just doing like kind of in-game tasks, you can get between 100 and 150 Lapis just from doing like little missions that you have every day. And then like whenever there's a new event, usually you can collect between like 2,000 to 2,500 depending on the event.
And how often are the events?
Every week, and you also frequently get Lapis for just login bonuses and stuff like that.
Okay. And it's 5,000 for 11 tickets or 5,000 per ticket?
So if you're just going into the normal banner, it's 5,000 for 11 summons and you get a ticket.
Okay.
But if you're doing this step up thing, it's 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and then 5,000 for the last one, except for the very last one is 6,000. And you get one ticket along the way, so that's 6 total. Plus you need to do 4 more. So to get the guarantee, if you don't get any along the way and you want it for sure, you have to spend 20,000 on top of 25. So that's 45,000 to get a unit that you want guaranteed. One copy.
And you get roughly 100 to 150 a day from doing dailies, and 2,000 to 2,500 for weekly events.
Yeah, sometimes more, sometimes less. It just depends on the event. And then like they do payouts for like the competitive events and stuff too.
Okay. And how long does this banner last?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So you would need to have 10 events to just get it from the. Sorry, not 10. 40. It was 45 divided by 2,000. So that's what? 20 events. 20. Let's call it 25 events.
Gosh,
but
that sounds.
Do that in 2 weeks. You only get 2.
That sounds horrible when you think about it like that. Yeah. Basically. Now factor into. You also get the daily, and you get the. A lot of times there's like login rewards and login bonuses, the competitive stuff, and you can also buy Lapis too. So there's lots of ways. There's lots of ways you can get it. But if you think about it just in terms of how long it takes you to get 25K, or even if we're going 45K, it's expensive. It's a lot of Lapis.
That's a lot.
But along the way, you're getting 10, 11, 11, 11, 11. That's 55. No. That's 54 summons right there, I think. I'm doing that math right.
And every time you summon, it's a chance to get one?
Yes, it's a chance to get them.
Okay.
It's not a super great rate. It's like a 3% chance to get a red crystal, and usually between 1/2 to 1% is chance to be the one you want.
So, okay.
Pretty low numbers.
Yeah.
Which is why the guarantee is so important, right? So being able to say, okay, I can do 10 summons total, collect 10 of these tickets and trade it in. I think that's why it's so important.
10 summons total by paying all that money.
And if you don't get it along the way, at least you get one copy at the end.
One copy. So you'd have to get either one of the two that you want.
Right. At that point, if you didn't get any along the way. But in this particular case, you can keep going because you can get 10 more by doing 10 more of the 5,000. So that's 50,000 Lapis more on top of the 45 you've already talked about to guaranteed get both of them. That's
but you
95
need multiple of them to upgrade them?
Yes.
How are you supposed to do all this in 2 weeks?
So that's where it becomes, that's my next point. So I want to just point out here in the news, if I open it back up, open it back up, there's a shop. That's where you get these tokens, right? The tokens you can use to exchange for a number of different things in the game, like these abilities and stuff. And so on that's where the difference comes in. So I'm gonna drop this one on screen that looks and I'm gonna pop up one that was on banner a couple weeks ago and show you a comparison. All right, so it looks almost the exact same, right? In fact, I'm going to just get this one out of the way. Notice how kind of in the middle here on the steps 3 and 5, there's a little gem with a character's face in it that says 20 and 30 next to it. Those are the upgrade materials.
Okay.
So this banner that was on about a month ago, as you did it, you had a chance to get the unit, and you got a guarantee copy of them for 10 tickets, just like before. And if you did it, you got these tokens, these fragments that allow you to upgrade your unit. Okay, you can also potentially, depending on how they set it up, use these tokens to buy you even more of them. You can also just buy the fragments in the shop for Lapis a lot of times. You can also, there's just other ways that you get them. So when you think about that, this one was also 25k. This one has the fragments, and the newest one does not. But you have these VIP coins that we don't know whether or not we're going to be able to use them. What do you think about that?
Wait. So you're going to get these coins you have no use for?
We don't know if we're going to be able to use them. So like currently in the game, I'm clicking around a lot. If I go to the shop and I go to where you can spend those VIP coins, you can use them to buy fragments for various units.
Okay, and these are the upgrade fragments,
These
right?
are the upgrade fragments. So theoretically, I could use them here if the units show up in the shop.
Okay.
Usually
and
it takes about 2 weeks for them to show up in the VIP shop, usually.
And these, so how many times do you have to upgrade? Because it looks like 100 per upgrade.
It's 50 for the first, 100 for the next, and then 200 for the next one. So you can do it 3 times.
So 50, 100, so that's 350, and then you have 1,000 VIP. Okay. And then, but last time you got 20 and 30, you got 50 of these upgrades.
So that gets you to their base, starter level, basically, guaranteed.
Okay, so it guarantees you the card. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to pull the card, it gives you 1 upgrade.
Additional progress, right?
Okay.
Yep.
And
And then I could come in and buy the fragments here. I could go to the in-game store and buy them, in these little bundles that either cost Lapis or money to get more of them. There's lots of ways you can do it. And so you were asking, how do I get all this done in 2 weeks? You kind of like pick and choose. Okay, I get 1 copy of the unit. I know I need to buy their fragments here, here, and here, and I can get them maxed out pretty quickly.
And just because I feel like it's going to be an important factor, how much U.S. currency does it take to just get the, what is that, 45 to get 1 card, and then an additional 50 for a second?
So if we're just gonna buy 50 fragments, right? The best way to do that here is like this 5,000 bundle.
I'm sorry, the Lapis to step up your banner all the way.
Oh, to get to 25k?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I've looked at this one before. So it takes 25k. This banner is $100 for 12 plus 8.4 is 20.4, and then you could just snag another one. That would kind of
$120.
$120, yeah. If you wanted to just buy the Lapis outright.
So the main change is, well, there's no guarantee.
Well, the guarantee is more expensive, so that was the other piece of it.
More expensive.
Okay. This one, it costs you 25k to get these 6 tickets, and then an additional 50k or an additional 20k to get to the 10th ticket, which guarantees you 1 copy of the unit. So that's 45 total, 45k total. Compare that to a banner about 3 weeks ago. This one, you still exchange 10, right? But on this one, you have to do you have to do 10 summons, but it ends up only costing you 32,000. Because 444 is 12 times, and then the 4th one's free. Each one of these gets you a ticket, so you have to do it 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32.
When you say you have to do 10 summons, is that just spending 4,000 Lapis?
In this case, yeah. So So you have to pull on this banner 10 times to get the 10 tickets for the guarantee.
When you say pull.
Yeah, just doing the 10, like doing the step 1, 2, and 3, 4.
And that's just spending money, right?
Yeah.
There's no other actions because the 10 plus 1 summons, I don't know what that means.
So it just means you're getting 11 units.
Oh, okay.
You're just getting 11 units for 4,000 Lapis.
And those 11 units could be the card that you want?
Could be the unit that you want, yeah.
Oh, okay. So the numbers are different than I was thinking. So
Yeah.
that's 11 times, that's 44 chances there for it to be one of the cards.
Yep. And if you do, and you can
Okay.
do this 10 times per player. You can do a full step 10 times per player on this one. Every step got you a ticket, and once you get to 10 tickets, you get the unit anyway, no matter what.
And I see, and it's 1,000 cheaper.
It's 1,000 cheaper, yeah.
Okay.
So this one was a really good banner. Like, I really like this model. We've had this model before. Another nice thing is you could use the tokens to buy the fragments. So if you, by the time you get your 10th ticket, which is what I ended up doing because I didn't get any luck on this at all, I had enough tickets to get the unit and then enough tokens to just get him to the first, EX plus 1 level right away.
And so EX plus 1 is kind of the minimum level that you want to use them at?
For most units, yeah.
Okay.
For most units.
I mean, this seems like a pretty decent balanced banner to me.
This one right here, yeah.
A lot less grind.
A lot less grind.
Can we go back to the first banner? I want to try to understand it a little bit better now. So that's 10, and then is it just 11?
Mhm.
Why
10.
Why 9 plus 2?
Because
Plus
the times 2 is a guaranteed rainbow or red crystal. The plus 2.
9 regular crystals, and then
Yep. And
like
then you're
rainbow
guaranteed to get rainbow or red.
okay.
It's goofy, I know.
And then the 10 plus 1 is 10 regular plus
One
1
guarantee
crystal,
red.
1 guaranteed red. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 11, 11. That's 11 each time except the first, right? So that's 55, 65?
65, yeah.
Okay, so 65 chances, but it costs you 45. Whereas before you had 55. Sorry, was that the previous one we were looking at? The good one was 11 each time? Or was it 10 each time?
It's 11 each time.
44 summons, and it only costs you 12,000.
Mm-hmm. So the step up is better. Like, just in terms of like each step being better, I think this one is better anyway. But the bigger issue to me is you can get the fragments that you use to upgrade the unit with these tokens. And on this one, you cannot. And they don't give them guaranteed.
Wait, they give you the same tokens though. There's those tokens that they're not for sale in the store,
Right.
With those tokens,
Right.
Okay.
But but just comparing, apples to apples, this banner, which is just like this one gives you the fragments. This one does not.
Yes, but it's the chance that you could buy is the currency to fragment exchange best with VIP tokens as opposed to store tokens?
Well, so the VIP tokens you only get either from stuff like this or spending actual cash money in the game.
Okay.
The tokens you're getting regardless. So in that sense, tokens are going to cost you less.
Sorry, I should say, if I wanted to buy 1 fragment, how many VIP tokens does that cost versus store tokens?
So they're sold in bundles of 5. Or no, 10 actually. No, 5. So 5 per 100. So I guess 1 token would be 20.
Okay. And then the regular tokens or store tokens? Or I don't know
It's 5. It's 5 per token. So those purple ones, it's going to be 5 fragments for one of those tokens usually.
So you trade off the guaranteed 50, which would be 10 regular tokens, for 1,000 tokens for the VIP, but you can only buy from the selected store.
Correct. And
But it does
those
give you a better
fragments
return.
and these units that are here are all units that have been in the game from 2 weeks ago that you can no longer pull on their banner anymore. So the exception to that is these 3, but we're going to talk about them in just a second. So so like these 3 at the bottom, you cannot pull on a banner for them anymore. So now's your chance to get their fragments if you still need them.
Oh, and when the banner's gone, there's no way to get those fragments?
Not without getting an extra copy, no. The
So-
only way to get them is every once in a while they'll run an event where you can daily do it and get 5 fragments per day with those units.
Okay.
But it's only run every 3 months or so. So really, the most efficient way to max out is to just get as many copies as you can and get as many free given guaranteed fragments that you can, is the most efficient way.
Yeah. So just from a grind to get the card, the guaranteed card you want, and let's just say it's just one as opposed to going it twice.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem like this one's a lot pricier. It's just a lot more expensive of a character to get to grind through.
Yeah. Cool.
Uh,
So that's pretty much the consensus, right? So this, in order to get 20 tickets to get the guaranteed both of them, costs 95,000 Lapis, compared to this one was 32,000. This one is 32,000 to get one copy. These are a little more pricey. These are 40,000. But you also have to get 12 tickets instead of 10. And this is another case. This was another case of you can't exchange these purple things for fragments, and the fragments are not here, so you had to work really hard to get them. So like this is kind of like middle of the road, starting to get not good. And then this happened today. so like,
what has it been going up and down? Like sometimes you'll get a really grindy one, and sometimes you'll get a really easy one, or is it just been progressively?
I would say that there's usually two types of banners, like this one where you do 3 and then the 4th one is free, or they're all pretty much like about the same, or it'll be like 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 5,000, but like you'll get guaranteed fragments. Like that, like they're just included in the rewards. Like you get the fragments no matter what.
Okay.
And then you can use the tokens to spend it even more. So like you get even more fragments because of that. Those would be like the ideal, you know?
I'm curious, what what benefits do you see from the latest banner, the Rydia and Kain?
The benefits that I see from it, so you do get this nice card at the end, which gives you a really, decent stats. The Demon Killer Maneater thing is nice. The dual wielding thing, who no one really cares about, but I do think the card is nice. I don't think it's 25,000 nice. I did do this one because this card is stupid good. And because you got the fragments along the way, like there were just a lot of reasons why I chose to do it. But so I also feel like it's like nostalgia factor. If you really like Rydia and Kain, like obviously this is gonna be your best chance to get them. But like this, for me, the VIP coins kind of scares me because maybe they'll be in the shop and maybe they won't. And like maybe I'm gonna look at those Xenogears units. Like, so this one I didn't buy any of Warrior of Dawn Dorgan. You could buy 10 of his. 10 stacks of 5, so that's 50 total for 1,000, right? Because 10 times 100 is 1,000. You could buy 50 for 1,000, whereas like these units, you can buy 10 of them for 1,000. But these because they're a time limited collaboration, they're here right now. Like you can do those right now, and you can also just spend Lapis just straight up to get more. But like, notice those Xenogears units aren't even here, and so there's a possibility that you might not get those. We don't know for sure.
Well, those are a crossover, right? That always gets
except for this one, and he's a crossover as well. But they gave us him, but not the other one. Like it's just there's a lot of inconsistency with what's going on. I think that's what people are most uncomfortable with, is like the inconsistency. Like, this time we get the fragments and not, or last, like not this time, yes, last time, and we can buy the tokens the fragments with these tokens, but not this time. And like, it's just the inconsistencies, I think, what makes people uncomfortable about it. And the lack of like, here's why we're doing this,
Transparency always makes everything
totally
better.
Totally.
Unless you can't be transparent because your reason is we want to milk more money out of the whales.
There's that.
To address the Xenogear VIP coins. That mostly has to do with the crossover deal, right?
Probably,
So
yeah.
whoever
That is
owns
probably
Xeno is
not
like,
their ultimately their decision. There's probably a lot of
Yeah.
factors in play there, but yeah.
yeah, because if it's just like a pay us $5,000 and you can use our characters one time, versus you can use our characters but we get a cut of the profits. That's going to determine if you get free coins versus paid coins.
Right, and with them, like they are giving out like daily fragments for free, but like it's not as much as you. Well, it's about the same as what you normally get, but like there's just not as it's not as easy to just go ahead and get them. They want you to summon on the banner, to try and get them that way, more copies. So yeah, there's that.
So I mean, to kind of be frank in my bias to your viewers, I've never been a fan of gacha games. The collecting thing in me just doesn't really get it, but I've always been turned off by the freemium model, because either I don't have, if you have the money, sure, spend it, play the game to your maximum if you want, but if you don't, you got to spend the time, and if you're caught between not having the time and not having the money, it kind of leaves you that, for me, a sour taste of like, well, I wanted it, but life got in the way.
Well, and there's also not any guarantees. Like there's been times where I have spent 60,000 Lapis that I just saved up over a long period of time, and then didn't get a single copy other than the guaranteed pity copy at the end, and that's just gambling. It's like sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't happen, and you just gotta suck it up.
It does feel, I don't know, man. If 3 weeks ago I could spend 32,000 Lapis and get a guaranteed card plus enough to upgrade it a couple times, right? Versus now, I have to spend, let's just say, one card to be a more fair comparison.
So yeah, we're gonna just say you want Rydia because she's awesome.
Yeah, Rydia is the best.
Yeah, obviously.
So that's 45,000 to get the one copy.
Yeah,
and you get no guaranteed upgrades to it. Just the chance to maybe buy upgrades later.
Yes, later, potentially 2 weeks down the road.
I feel like if it was one or the other, if it was you got to spend more, but we'll give you the same guaranteed upgrades, or you're not spending more, but there's no guaranteed upgrade, would have been a better middle ground. I feel like this is two punches against you.
Right.
Yeah.
The other criticism is that by and large, so like I'm gonna go back to this one, this unit that you could get on here, Tulian, by and large, he's not a very good unit. So they slap this like interesting, exciting card at the end of it. That's for a banner for a unit that nobody cared about. Rydia and Kain, I feel like is better because people actually like Final Fantasy IV is, I would say, probably one of the more popular games in the series, and Rydia and Kain are fan favorites. So like putting this model on these cards, I think is kind of cool, because at least people like these units. But that's just an opinion thing at the end of the day. Like when you just look at the numbers, it's like, ouch. I think it's ouch. Like I took one look at this and was just like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, are those characters good in this game? Like the new cards?
Are
they broken?
From my understanding, I've not said that's another element of this too. Like so people compare what's going on in the game right now to what happens in the Japanese version of the game, which is about 5 to 6 months ahead of us. So like we know potentially what Kain and Rydia are going to be like and what their power level is going to be compared to what we have right now, and they are not like significantly above what we have currently.
So they just cost a lot more because they're popular.
Maybe that's the justification. I don't know. I think it's partially to sell this card, the Warrior of the Azure Crystal card, because the last one, the Leave It to Me card, got a lot of attention, and people saw this and they're like, oh, we have to have this because of the various things that it does, and people bought it. And I think that in some ways kind of created a monster. Oh, look, we'll make this other one, and it's nice and shiny too, and it's actually not it's even though it says better, like the 300 is better than 250, right? It's not as good. It's the benefits are not as good.
And that's what always gets me about the freemium model, because when you start putting cards like that hidden behind exorbitant costs, it becomes pay to win.
by
Like
and
if it
large.
was just
And there's competitive content. So like, you know, this I'm gonna to jump to this event here that we're currently going on. This is technically competitive content. I'm ranked 1. Don't be impressed by that because everybody's ranked 1 right now because of how this event works. But like there is competitive stuff in the game to like inspire or like motivate you to pull to get stronger units to be able to outscore your friends and whatnot. So like there is, you know, some degree of being able to be like, oh well, I scored higher and I got better rewards as a result of it, so it's worth it and blah blah blah. But like, you know, not everybody plays that way.
Oh, but you're not playing against other players. You're just playing against the event, right?
Well, in this event, yes, you are playing against other players, but because of the way this specific one is worked out, like everybody is pretty much able to cap the maximum score. So like there's all these people who are in first place, like even amongst my friends, like on my friends list, I happen to be in 3rd place amongst my friends because I happen to have gotten it 3rd. You know, so it's like it's just everybody's able to cap this event and like get a perfect score just because of the way it's designed. Usually they are not like that. You know, so like compare that to this one, which was on a couple of weeks ago. I ended up, you know, 1341 compared to, you know, other people just because I couldn't, you know, score as high as other players. So there is competitive stuff, but not all of it is competitive.
Yeah. I was kind of on the fence about these changes. I was like, okay, you know, they're gonna charge you a bit more, but there's some trade-offs. It's a little bit more random. But the putting that guaranteed power card at the end is what would set off my alarm of I don't know if this is a game I want to keep playing. Because if everyone has the same chance of randomly drawing cards, sure they can spend more money to get more chances to randomly draw.
Well,
but once you start putting
this card is guaranteed, and you know there's a potential. Every red crystal unit has its own card, so you're gonna get a lot of like cards along the way too, and like there's a lot of chances obviously to get, you know, red crystals, but like you know putting this behind that the Lapis wall. It's a paywall for Lapis. You don't have to spend money, but you know most people who are buying this at this point are probably spending Lapis or spending money to buy it because everybody went ham on the Xenogears banner, you know.
oh yeah.
And so their reserves are low, and then this is coming out. This is coming out a week later, and it's like, well, now you're definitely going to want this. I'm not buying it, but
now that's an extra wrinkle.
it is.
It
but
was just before, so people went nuts for it.
Yeah,
and
because
now it comes out this bigger, expensive thing.
Because everyone knew from playing the Japanese version that Xenogears units were going to be absurd, and they are absurd. There it is. I didn't pull on Xenogears either, but that's because I've never played Xenogears, so I'm not like a huge fan. And I also don't always chase, you know, meta type stuff in this game. I try to just play like I go for the units that I want. So yeah. A lot of people. So what's funny about you saying I would consider stop playing the game with this change is that's kind of the criticism that a lot of people are coming out with, is that a lot of people are saying like, I'm done. I'm not spending any money until they change this. I'm not even going to spend any Lapis until they change this because I'm not wasting my resources, you know, that I either saved up or spent money on to get on something that's not going to be as efficient as it was a week ago or even 2 weeks ago.
So, okay, where else can I spend my Lapis that will get me a good return on investment? Or is this the only place to dump Lapis?
In terms of getting units, this is the only way. So you can if you go into, you know, summon, there's obviously lots of little banners you can do Lapis on for the various events that are currently going on. And then there's you can get units from tickets and like time limited stuff that they have going on, you know, whatever.
But you wouldn't want to spend those tickets on those. You want to spend them on the banner.
You can usually only spend your tickets in the one that it goes with. So like this one, you use these color tickets. These, you know, they go with what they have. The only exception to that is, you know, the normal regular banners. I don't have any, but they share the same ticket.
Okay.
They share this kind of yellowish color ticket.
So if I was running the banner
Mm-hmm.
and I got 11 tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one extra ticket would just be useless because it's only for this banner.
Oh, you mean like these red ones here?
Yeah. So
Yes.
say I'm running it right, and I do the whole 6 steps,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do 4 more to get my 10 to get my guarantee.
Yep.
I guess there's no reason to.
Is
keep
there?
running at
Yeah.
that
So
point,
are
right?
there leftover tickets at the end, and can I do anything with
Yeah.
them? Yeah. Sometimes that happens. So like I have had that happen a couple times, where like I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do one more pull to get to the free one at the end, and
Mhm.
I've got some leftover stuff here. So like I've got these Tulian tickets and these Chow tickets and these Lara Croft tickets, which are never gonna see use.
Okay.
Yep. And that's just unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So, does the Japanese version of the game have these banners too? Same banners?
Well, so that's another piece of this. So like this card is global original. So the global version original, as is this one was global version original.
And global means non-Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys got these cards. The Japan version didn't.
Right. But and I don't know exactly what their version, like what their step up was when Kain and Rydia were out. But my guess it probably either looked like this, or was the 5-step version that you get the fragments. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna guess that.
Yeah. I'm trying to see like both sides of this, if there's any kind of real benefit, but it seems that it's just a bit too much with removing the guaranteed fragments and the
ability to buy
extra
them with the
steps
tokens
to get the guarantee.
Yeah. I think it's too much too. So I mean,
Now, if the VIP store gets buffed up,
right.
or you start getting better returns.
So if you get 1,000, you get 1,000 from doing this, and if those fragments are available in the shop the day of, and we get more of them available to buy with VIP coins, this problem is moot because like they're just exchanging VIP coins for fragments for VIP coins, which you could theoretically use at a later date on a different unit, whatever. But there's no guarantee of that.
So, trying to get the numbers right.
Mm-hmm.
When we looked at it, it was to get how many fragments do you need to get to ESX1
50.
or EX1?
50.
50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which you can
And
buy
so-
in the shop if I go to it now, for a unit that I have not bought any for. He doesn't count because he's premium. We're not talking about him. But like this Tulian, right? So
Yeah.
he's 5 fragments times 10 is, or 5 for 100 times 10 is 1,000 for 50.
1,000 for 50. So they are giving you the guaranteed 50 again.
Yes, as long
So,
as
as it becomes available.
it becomes available in store right away, and as long as they increase this to 200 total available, or 20 stacks total available. Does that make sense? Because we're already getting 10 stacks in the shop all the time. If they give us 20 stacks available, then we essentially are getting the fragments and the available ones in the shop.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because before you get the fragments, and then 2 weeks later they pop up the shop.
Mhm.
If you had a VIP coins, you could then buy some.
You could then buy some more. This is
Okay.
saying you get 1,000 VIP coins, which you could maybe spend now, maybe spend later. You can be flexible with them. If you don't want Kain and Rydia fragments for some unknown reason, you don't have to have them. You can pick up something else.
Well, I guess that's my question. Is there any reason to have? Is there any benefit, or I guess I don't know benefit? If say Rydia, you're saying that basically everyone always upgrades to EX1.
Pretty
Is there a
much.
reason that I'd want Rydia and not care about it being EX1? Is this just like for completionists or something?
Occasionally. So there are some units that are really not very strong in their own right, but they have like every unit has, for example, we're gonna go to lightning here.
Like a trait or
Yep.
something.
Every unit has 2 abilities or 2 items that you can get, that you can equip, that you can just get them by just investing some resources into them. So like she has her shield and she has this ability. You get the ability you get the Super Trustmaster reward always once you get them to the EX +2 level. And so some people, like Lightning is not that great of a unit, but this is phenomenal. So people might get her, invest a super Trustmaster resource into her to get her reward, and then just leave her alone. Because
so you can buy that, you can spend that super Trustmaster item.
Yes.
As opposed to upgrading it to ESX2. I see. Okay, so
there is potential some reason to do it, but you automatically get this for free at EX plus 2.
Which would be how many?
150
to get to ESX2. So it's 50, 100, and then 200 for ESX3.
200 for EX3. Yeah.
Wow. So 350 fragments, which
breaks down to 8 total copies, right?
8 copies.
Because you got your 1 copy that you're upgrading, 1 copy for EX2, 2 more for for your copy that you're keeping, 1 extra copy to get 50 fragments to EX1, 2 more for EX2, and then 4 more to EX3. So it's a big grind to get there. But you get a lot of benefit out of doing it for some units. Some are really beefy at the end, and some aren't.
So this is what I think is different than other games that I've played, or you and our buddy Atlanta Gamer played. Do you have a limited time to get those fragments unless they pop back up in the store?
Right. It's limited. The reality though too is like at any moment I don't have any on this that I'm playing on, but like I could just jump into one of these and say, okay, I'm gonna drop 5,000 right here, and any crystal that's any unit that's in the game right now could pop out of it. Like it's I could theoretically get a random copy at any time. This is just like the best chance I have ever, because their rate is going to be up. If I really want Kain and Rydia, like this is my best chance.
Oh, 3% on that banner, 1% normally, or something like that.
Yeah, it's embarrassingly worse than that. It's so bad. Like if we look at it,
at least they publish the drop rates.
Games have gotten in trouble for not. So it's a 3% chance at a red. And on this banner, it's 1% for the Neovisions units for Xenogears, right? But if we come down to the most recent Neovisions units, otherwise, Summoner Lena, 0.01492%.
And Neovision means
the red crystal, like the highest rarity.
Red crystal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really low.
5-star Summoner Lena?
No. She basically starts at Neovisions.
Okay. And you can't upgrade a 5-star into a Neovision?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So Faye is one example of someone you can do that with, but not always.
And if I get Faye, can I burn her down into resources that would let me get a Neovision of something?
If you get Faye, you can convert him into fragments to upgrade Faye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, you need multiple copies of him to... Yeah, you use him to upgrade himself.
So... if it was just one card I wanted, I'd have to run the banner. Let's see. You get 1 guaranteed for 10 tickets, so that's... And I need 6 cards, so that's 60 tickets I need. So I gotta run that 10 times.
What do you... I'm losing you.
So I need 10 tickets to guarantee...
Yes, 10 of these red tickets gets you a guaranteed Kain or Rydia.
Yeah. So guaranteed Rydia, 10 tickets.
Yes.
So in order to guarantee get 6 copies, which I would need to fully upgrade it.
8 copies, yeah.
8 copies.
Yep.
No. 1, then 1, then 2, then 4.
1,
2, 4. Yeah, that's 8. Yeah. Okay.
Or, right, if they're available, I spend the tokens to buy her fragments, 50 of them here, and then 50 from the Lapis store, and then 50 from the VIP store in 2 weeks. And sometimes they're given out for free on the banner, and like you just kind of you can factor it out. Like if you're willing to spend a little bit, you can usually buy them. If you just get 1 copy or even 2 copies, you're gonna be okay because of how easy it is to get the fragments. In this case, there are no fragments, which is the complaint that people have about the banner.
Okay, that makes sense about the old banner, because you just boom 50 fragments. 50
right,
fragments,
you're like, oh, I got my 1 copy of Chow that I needed. Awesome. I go buy fragments here, here, and here, and I'm done. I have my EX plus 3 Chow, and I'm all set. Whereas the fragments are not there.
So the minimum, Okay, ignoring the VIP because they're not in the VIP now. So I get 10 tickets, 10 store tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And how many with the store tokens, whatever, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, it's fine.
What's the it was 5 fragments for.
Yeah, it's usually 5 for 1, and usually there's a limit. You can only buy like 50 in there.
Okay.
So you're talking about 50, usually 30 from login bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
50 from store tokens.
Mm-hmm.
50 from just buying the 5,000 Lapis bundle in the shop, and then VIP coins.
So that's 130 before VIP. So.
And then and then any copies you pick up along the way, if there's fragments on the banner, there's lots of ways to amass it.
Well, I guess has someone run the numbers on how?
There's
much it's
also
gonna cost
these
you to
kinds
get?
of things too. So there's this cash bundle, which people usually buy, where like you buy. I'm hesitant to click on it. It's 35, right? And you get 50 fragments and the upgrade materials and these tickets, which are 2 guaranteed red crystals, which could be the unit you want, but not necessarily. And that's 36. You could buy that for your unit that you want. And then that's 50 there. 50 here. Where's it jumped on me? 50 here for 3,000. So there's just lots of ways you can do it. But only if those shards are available. Them not being on the banner makes it harder to max out the unit you want without pulling extra copies.
Right, because I could get my guarantee, and then every time I ran the full banner, I got 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I would only need to run the full banner. What is that?
A couple times. A lot of times
Yeah,
with those, there's usually a limit to like 6 per player or something like that. But yeah, if you're doing that, like you're getting more fragments every time you go through the banner, and you only have to run it twice probably.
Is this banner limited 1 per player?
This
So you can only run it
particular
once?
one is, but like the Chow one was limited to 10.
That one was
per
10,
player.
yeah. One time to get 6 tickets,
Mm-hmm.
6 coins,
Mm-hmm.
1,000 VIP, and what was it 65 chances to pull the card?
Yep.
And then I can't run it again to get more stuff, so I just have to spend Lapis.
You have to spend 4 more 11 summons for 4 more of these tickets to get your guaranteed copy, which is 20,000 on top of the 25 you already spent. So that's 45,000.
Wait, the more I understand this, the worse and worse of a deal it is, because not only do you remove the guaranteed fragment, which makes it harder of a grind,
Mm-hmm.
but by limiting it to 1 per player and giving 2 cards that people might want to get, because if you like one, you're probably gonna like the other.
Probably. If
This
you're a
is so
fan
much
of
more
Final
of a grind.
Fantasy IV, you probably want both of these, and it's
Yeah.
going to cost you 95,000 Lapis total to get both of them guaranteed. And as somebody who has gone
And
to
that's
pity
only-
multiple times and not gotten any copies of the unit, it's totally doable.
That's 90,000 to guarantee
Both.
1 card, 1 copy,
1 copy of both of them, yes.
with no guaranteed fragments.
No
and
guaranteed
just a
fragments.
chance to hopefully pull, because you don't get the bonus summon, so you have 65 chances to pull extra,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're just spending money to get tickets.
Yep.
So to grind out the levels you need, you're going to be spending more for tickets to buy additional copies.
Mm-hmm.
And then hoping the VIP store has an NV unit from a banner not popped up 2 weeks later before in the store, VIP store.
No. That has never
So,
happened.
okay. Based off of historical, we can pretty much promise that in 2 weeks you'll have a chance to buy.
Probably. Yeah, I'm saying most likely that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to get them right away, which you can normally do that, and so you're waiting a couple weeks to get the maxed out unit without having to just summon more copies, which is
And that
not it's the same as it always is, but other times like you can get the tokens, you can use these tokens right away, and right now you can't, or they're just on the banner like with Tulian, and right now they are not.
Well, why can't you buy them in the store right now?
Because the store does not include them with these store tokens. So these store tokens are basically part of a. If you go into the shop, each one of these tokens has its own shop that you can use them on. And so, like, if I went into the Xenogears one, well, this is tickets. If I went into the Xenogears shop, I can use the tokens to either get additional copies of like some of the units, some items. No, there's no fragments here. Normally there's fragments, which is the big issue with the Xenogears banner is there's, again, no fragments. And there's not going to be fragments, according to the news, for the Final Fantasy IV units either.
Oh, is that the other part of the news?
Yes.
So
there's no fragments in the shop, and there's no fragments for Lapis, and there's no fragments on the banner. And it costs more to get the unit.
Okay, I feel like that buried a lot of the controversy, because before I was like, this just seems like kind of naked greed, kind of growing up a little bit, like, you know, they're being a little less hidden about it. But now that you're saying that they're removing all of the other ways of avoiding the 90,000.
Yep.
Because we kept talking about the 90,000 to get both of the one copies, but they removed all the ways to easily upgrade them. So that's not really the cost. The cost is really, what, times 3?
When you think about it like that. 3 times as expensive as it was for me to get one copy of Chow. Yeah. So what I just want to throw out there is that somebody who does not play this game and is just looking at the numbers and comparing, you know, last week's banners, 2 weeks ago banners, 3 weeks ago banners to what this is saying the same thing that people have been playing this game since before it came out are saying.
I mean,
you win the prize there, Clippy. you win, like, you know, almost an hour-long discussion and of what this game is and how it's working, and you get it.
Well, I'm glad I could be a voice of sanity that's not tied up in existing opinions.
Yeah. So what I want to throw out there. So like my opinion is right on board with all of that. Like it's just when you compare the numbers, it's like this is Garbo. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not buying. And that's a shame because like Rydia is like probably my 3rd favorite character in the entire franchise, and yeah, life will go on. I won't have her. I didn't end up pulling on my favorite one either, and you know, I'm okay. I still don't have her, and that's all right. But like it's just at that point when she came out, I had already spent all my Lapis trying to get Sephiroth, and I got Sephiroth. But there it is.
It feels like any little bit is fine. It's like a death of 1,000 cuts, right? If they had put in the guaranteed shards, if they had put the fragments in the store, if they had made it only one of the 2 on this thing as opposed to both, if they had only done the 4 steps, if they had made it up to 10 times, right?
Yep.
And if it wasn't right after Xeno, but all of that together, right after the big Xeno that wiped out everyone's existing, you know, stockpiles.
Yep.
This just feels like a naked cash grab.
Yep. And we can also reasonably predict that next Tuesday, which is when the next news always comes out on Tuesday, so we can also reasonably predict that next Tuesday they're going to announce that week, because it's supposed to come at the end of this month, is the next competitive event is going to come out, and each competitive unit has each competitive event has a unit that is specifically geared and designed to be good at that event, and that unit's going to be coming out next week.
Oh, so there's going to be another banner that you have to grind for
every week, yeah. And I mean, and eventually, and this is the boat that I'm in. I've cleared all the content in the game other than the weekly new content. That is only, you can only do it during that event. So I'm out of opportunities to get Lapis unless they put new stuff in the game. Now, thankfully, they're putting new missions in the game on Thursday, and I can get a little more Lapis. But like, you know, I'm out.
I mean,
Atlanta,
this whole time.
Atlanta just came back a couple weeks ago, and he's like got 2 years of worth of Lapis that he can earn up right now. So he's in a good place. He can just start getting it all and start using it, and he's fine. But like for otherwise, your way of getting Lapis is to spend money. like cash money.
There's not even like a watch an ad get 150.
There is. You can do 7 of those a day, and the 150 is very rare to get, but I've gotten it before. Usually you get either energy refills or like 5 lapis.
Oh right, this game has the energy, so you have to pay to keep playing. Oh man, I don't know why you guys play these games.
I mean, I think the strategy part's what's interesting and engaging. A lot of the trials and the bosses, like that's fun to like put teams together, and like I do enjoy some element of the competitive events, which is weird because I'm not very competitive, but there it is. And like I do enjoy it. I enjoy the strategy part of it.
Yeah, and that's how these games get you. They always have these games don't work if they don't have a good game to it, right?
And this one, like I feel like the game is largely good. Like compared to other games that are like it, I don't like most of them. This one, like it has like it's in the same family of the series of games that I actually like. It like the strategy, the way units work. Like I like a lot of things about it that I don't like about other similar games.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on idle games. Oh my gosh. I want to play this game to not play this game. So there it is.
And all just cookie clickers at the end.
Yeah, basically.
Well, thanks for having me on. This was fun.
I appreciate you coming on.
Peeling back the layers of nonsense.
Well, and so we didn't even get that far into it, but like the biggest slap in the face, in my opinion, is that like because and again, this is all based on like us knowing what the Japanese version of the game gets compared to otherwise. So like there's supposed to be things that come out during this event that we are not getting. Where is it? There was something in here where it just basically says like, Barbarisha and Rubicante will have their Neo-Visions Awakenings made available in the future. Please stay tuned. So what does that mean? So like the Japanese version got these units awakened to Neo-Visions, and we're not going to. Which has kind of been on a trend for the past few events. Like we don't get awakenings and upgrades that the Japanese version got. That's the other part of that people don't. There's no explanation for it other than maybe staffing or translation or they don't really have an explanation for it.
So if those cards had been available, it would have been 4 cards you had to grind for?
Well, no, because those are awakenings. So like if I filter out my units, this is embarrassing how many units I have. If I filter them out to the Final Fantasy IV units, like I already have I already have Barbarisha, but I don't have. She's not available to go up to Neo-Visions yet because they have not put that in the game yet. I already have Rubicante, but he's not available to go up to Neo-Visions yet because they haven't put it in the game. Whereas in the Japanese version, they get that along with this event. Those units get upgraded to Neo-Visions.
And you would need to spend resources to upgrade them?
Yes, but they usually give you some fragments. Like you can convert old copies of them that you have. Like there's just...
Well, I think that's why they're not available. Because if you had the 2 cards that you want plus grinding for those fragments, I think at that point you guys would have openly revolted.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were like, that's too much. Let's lower it to this. And
well, the good news is those units would be on the banner, so like they would be available at an increased rate compared to other 5 stars, but like, and then they're easier to get. So like with those, the maximum you need is you still need 8 copies, but or 6 copies I think for 5-star ones. So it's easier. And with the 5-star ones, I can go into this thing, 5-star select, and I can just get any unit I want that's 5-star.
Okay.
So I can just grab copies of it here, and there's other ways of getting those units. Neo-Visions are special.
Has someone done a comparison of take a Japanese banner and then wait for that banner to pop up on the global version?
Oh yeah.
And compare the numbers?
There are definitely players who do that.
Are they paying the same?
No, usually they're paying less, or there are more fragments available, or things like that.
Okay.
But the argument that the developers usually throw out there, which has almost become a meme, is these are different games. Arguable. They have different units. So they have some units that we don't have, and we have some units that they don't have.
Fair, I guess.
Yep. And they don't have Clash
don't-
of Wills, and we do, and stuff like that.
I guess that's a decent explanation.
Decent. Could be better. Could be like, we're not releasing this unit right now because it would be too powerful or not in the meta, and you don't really care. You know, that would be nice to just be like, yeah, we could release Medina right now, even though we're 6 months late, but now she's not going to be, she's so power crept that it's not worth putting the time in to upgrade her. Like, okay, that makes sense. Or you could just upgrade her. How hard is it to change a decimal point? You know?
Oh, don't get me started about changing numbers in games.
No.
Long rant there.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're capping out at an hour here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. But thank you so much for stopping in and going on this journey with me. And I'm glad that I'm not crazy for seeing it the way that I see it, because if somebody who doesn't play can come in and see it and be like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like, that makes me feel a little better. I didn't want to just jump on the train with like everybody else who's kind of talking about the same thing right now. So I wanted to try something a little different, and this ended up working out beautifully. We didn't have to edit or rehearse it, so that's even better.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anytime you want a layman to talk against, let me know.
Happy to have you, and thanks so much. And I'll talk with you probably later this week, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be around. All right. Thanks for tuning in and sticking around for an hour, guys. And new content Thursday will be here on Thursday. We'll play through all the new stuff on Twitch, and that's at 9 p.m. Central on Thursday. And yeah, have a good night, and thanks a bunch. Bye.